This hospital has been abandoned for over 30 years, yet its eerie presence still lingers. Locals warn about strange occurrences, but I didn't believe them until that night. At exactly 3:13 a.m., I heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoing from the morgue. My heart raced as I stepped closer, unsure of what I would find. What I discovered that night wasn't just chilling, it's something that still haunts me. And what's hidden within these walls? You won't believe the terrifying truth. The air turned icy as I stepped through the hospital's decaying entrance. The faint smell of mold mixed with something metallic lingered in the air. Broken wheelchairs lay scattered across the floor, their rusted frames casting long, unsettling shadows in the dim light. Every step I took echoed through the hollow corridors, accompanied by the rhythmic sound of water dripping from the ceiling. It was as if the building itself was alive, breathing in the darkness. Locals call this place cursed, a hospital where patients mysteriously vanished, and unthinkable experiments were conducted behind locked doors. Despite their warnings, I came here determined to uncover the truth behind the whispers and rumors. But as I ventured deeper, I realized I wasn't prepared for the horrors that awaited me. Built in the 1940s, this hospital once stood as a symbol of hope and healing for the community. It was a place where people believed miracles could happen. But as time passed, the hope it offered turned into despair. Whispers began to circulate, stories of inhumane experiments being conducted in the hidden corners of its wards, and patients who checked in but never checked out. What should have been a sanctuary became a nightmare. Those who dared to visit after its closure brought back chilling stories. One man claimed he heard blood-curdling screams echoing through the empty halls at night. Another swore he saw a shadowy figure standing motionless at a broken window, its hollow eyes fixed on him before vanishing into thin air. The question that still lingers in everyone's mind is, what really happened to the patients? Were they victims of unspeakable experiments, or did something even darker unfold here? And why does this place send chills down spines, even during the day? As I stepped into the main hallway, a cold draft swept past me, carrying the faint smell of decay. The walls were peeling, but what caught my attention were the faded, bloody handprints smeared along the corridor, some small, others disturbingly large. The air grew heavy, and an eerie silence settled in, broken only by the sudden creak of a wheelchair. I froze as it rolled slowly across the hall, its wheels screeching as if it carried an unseen passenger. I hesitated, but something compelled me to move deeper into the shadows. The next door I pushed open led to what could only be described as a scene from a nightmare. The operating room was frozen in time, with rusty surgical tools scattered across a blood-stained table. A decayed journal lay open, its pages brittle and yellowed. As I flipped through, I found the last entry hastily scribbled, "We must stop. They're watching us." My hands trembled as I felt the weight of those words. The air seemed to shift, and for a moment, I thought I heard faint whispers surrounding me, though no one was there. The children's ward was the most unsettling. Tiny handprints were etched into the dusty walls, some smeared as if in a desperate attempt to escape. The room was filled with scattered toys, each covered in a layer of grime. Suddenly, a faint giggle echoed through the air. My heart raced as a single toy car rolled across the floor, its movement deliberate, as though pushed by invisible hands. I stood there frozen, every instinct screaming at me to leave, but I couldn't. There was something in this room that felt alive, watching me. The tension escalated with every step I took. As I passed the morgue, a faint knock came from the heavy steel door. I stopped in my tracks, heart pounding, but before I could react, the door slammed shut with a deafening thud. The sound echoed, followed by silence so complete it was suffocating. In one of the hidden closets, I found a stack of patient files, each labeled with strange symbols. The last few entries were blank, except for one word scrawled in red ink: experiment. My stomach turned as I realized these files belonged to patients who had vanished without a trace. As I continued exploring, cold spots surrounded me, sending shivers down my spine. My breath fogged the air, and then I felt it, a chilling exhale against the back of my neck. I spun around, expecting to see someone, but the hallway was empty. My instincts screamed at me. I wasn't alone. Something was following me, and it wasn't human. The morgue door creaked open, revealing a room shrouded in darkness. A wave of decay hit me, so strong it made me gag. The dim light from my flashlight barely illuminated the metal tables, each stained with marks of the past. The faint whispers that had followed me throughout the hospital grew louder, morphing into blood-curdling screams that echoed off the tiled walls. Then I saw it, a shadowy figure standing near the far corner. My pulse quickened as the figure began to move, stepping closer into the dim light. Its face was unlike anything I had ever seen. Hollow, featureless, and disturbingly human-like. Its movements were slow, almost robotic, yet it exuded an unnatural presence that made my skin crawl. Despite every instinct telling me to run, I took a hesitant step forward, my breath shaky. As I got closer, the figure's head tilted towards me, and suddenly it let out an ear-piercing shriek that reverberated through the room. I stumbled backward, my flashlight flickering as the sound grew louder, filling every inch of the space with a terrifying energy. Desperately trying to steady my breathing, I noticed something on the wall behind the figure. Words were scratched into the crumbling plaster, their meaning chilling me to the core. The doctor lives. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. Could the rumors of the deranged doctor still being here be true? I turned back to the figure, but it was gone. The room was eerily silent, except for the faint sound of a door creaking. Then, with a deafening crash, the morgue door slammed shut, trapping me inside. Panic set in as I tried to pry it open, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers returned, this time surrounding me, circling like unseen predators. The air grew colder, and a deep, guttural voice whispered in my ear, "You shouldn't have come." My heart raced as I fumbled with my flashlight, desperately searching for another way out. That's when I saw it, a faint trail of bloody footprints leading toward a hidden door at the back of the morgue. The air around me felt heavier with every step I took, and I could feel the presence following me, its breath cold against my neck. Something told me the nightmare was far from over. I barely made it out that night, but the shadowy figure? It wasn't just some ghostly apparition. It felt alive. Its movements, its presence. It was as if it were something far worse than a spirit. Who, or what, was it? And what really happened to the doctor who ran this hospital and vanished without a trace? The scratches on the wall and the journal hinted at experiments that crossed every boundary of morality. Could it be that the experiments never truly stopped? Is there something, or someone, still keeping the horrors of this hospital alive? What do you think? Could this place hold even darker secrets than we know? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's more about these chilling experiments that I've yet to uncover. Stay tuned for the next chapter, if you're brave enough.